Powering your morning QA, consistency and confidence without compromise. Introducing our new QA BeamChecker Pro. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but I sure as heck have. There is a trend in physics QA devices coming onto the market. And that is much like what's happening with LINAC technology. And what is that? It is to have the most components, the most complex software, that does so-called does it all, and the most of, well, you name it, and they try and put it in there. However, clinicians routinely tell us that complexity is not helpful because it actually slows them down and costs too much. Which is a problem. We heard you loud and clear. And therefore, we make sure that we understand, and you understand, that what you want is reliability and consistency. You know that realistically sufficient is efficient. And therefore, manufacturers keep it simple, make it fast, and make it last. I'm sure you're wondering what makes QA BeamChecker Pro the best response to those needs of sufficiency, reliability, and consistency, and long-term lasting devices. So some of the highlights from the QA BeamChecker Pro are our detectors of choice are our air vented parallel plate ion chambers, so stability and ion chamber technology. Standard Imaging is the top tier manufacturer of ion chamber technology. We've increased the number of detectors without exaggeration, which provide measurement details without slowing down performance. We also now support 10 by 10 fields, as well as the 20 by 20 fields that most people typically QA. And connectivity. We have modernized our connectivity to use Wi-Fi where it is available and Ethernet where it isn't. More ways QA BeamChecker Pro provides consistency and confidence without compromise are things like the new ion chamber array has a uniform 1 cm inherent buildup over the measurement chambers, and the updated energy chambers now support single device setup. No more flipping of the device for electron versus photon testing. We did keep our incredibly popular software-free, network-free, cable-free standalone mode of operation. Standalone mode is possible thanks to our unique automatic energy detection algorithm. We've improved the workflow in standalone mode by incorporating a device auto reset after an out of tolerance measurement is detected. Detected issues flash on screen for about 6 seconds before the auto reset occurs, thus eliminating extra trips to the vault to manually reset the device. Note, however, because we want all the details, that the full measurement metrics are stored on the device's internal memory until a network connection is established after the QA session is done, at which point the automatic data transfer will start. So that connection is either you're accessing on a Wi-Fi access point, or you put the device on the data cradle, which is has the Ethernet connection to the network, or you can use the device connection direct to the network. Either of those things will start the automatic data download if there's data on the device. Be ready to acquire measurements in only 3 taps on the touchscreen display for standalone mode operation. No rigid beam routine is required. No need to tell the software what you're delivering. A fully charged device lasts 60% longer than our current BeamChecker Plus. So now you have 8 hours of continuous use with the improved battery technology. There is a built-in automatic shutdown after 30 minutes of non-use to make sure that you get the most out of every charge. So the BeamChecker Pro display is now a large capacitive touchscreen. This is used to establish the initial device to application server, so software to database, connection, communication configuration. We support both static and DHCP communications. It also includes a lot of diagnostic information about the device. So to show you what all that means, I did make a short video for you to see how this all works. So I'm turning on the device. It runs through a self-test to make sure it's within temperature, pressure, and other parameters for use. Right now, I'm not connected to anything, so I can use standalone mode. I select my user, and I'm going to select my LINAC. It zeros, and it's ready to rock. When you're done, you will go back to the home page, and I'm going to plug in the Ethernet connection so that you can see how that changes on screen. And the gear shows you how to enter other information. So DHCP is what's in use. What is that IP address? Your port number, your net mask, your gateway address, your network type. And this is where you would select either static or DHCP. And then, of course, the app server has its own IP address as well. So with DHCP, this may change. So you do want to check that. But otherwise, quick and easy to do. And all these other things are initial setups, not a daily setup thing. They're a one-time initial setup. You can also adjust the device volume so you're sure that you can hear it outside of the vault. And then the other thing that's very important here, as I mentioned before, is diagnostics. So there's a bunch of stuff you get to look at. Status of your battery. What temperature pressure is being read by the device right now? What bias is being applied to the detector array? RTDs are the temperature sensors. There are 4 over the chamber array. We're also checking the lifetime charge to a center chamber. And we are also checking the lifetime charge over the electronics with a diode. RTC is just checking your real-time clock. And chamber rates, what exactly is going on for your different chambers. So you can scroll through the full list if you want to. This is typically meant for service use, not individual use. So check with Standard Imaging Customer Care. You've got your serial number. And this ESP version is the Wi-Fi chip, but we're plugged into Ethernet. So of course we don't see that information right now. Go to the home page. And if you want to use the device in real-time or physics mode, you are now ready and able to do that. So, of course, if we have a new device, it calls for new software. Here again, we've improved the user experience with a browser-based interface, Active Directory user setup and login, as well as having a unified database for all of your devices. So let's go take a look at that. So I'm going to do a quick swap over to my web page. There we go. So I've got 2 BeamCheckers actually open here, because one of them is attached to an actual device, and the other one has more demo data. So right now we're looking, let's go back to this is the home screen that you would land on with a login pop-up for you to log into the software. It shows your user, your settings, as well as whether you want to use light or dark mode are in this frame. And we'll go back to settings, but to show you baselines, since I'm connected on this one with the device, the way things, if anybody has used our BeamChecker Plus, you know there's the concept of rooms to assign your different LINACs and potentially other types of energies, like a dynamic mode versus static. We don't do that in BeamChecker Pro. BeamChecker Pro, it is the combination of your location. Those that you are associated with will appear here. and the LINAC that you're QAing. If you've got more than one, it will be in the list. And if you have more than one device, it'll be in the list. So you add a baseline. So this is, I just wanted to show you so that you see, again, a little bit more of the interface. You're going to want to put in a unique name for each baseline. All tests are run against baselines. So your beam type, your energy comes from your machine information that you've set up, your SSD, if you have, if this is going to be a wedge test, again, this pulls from your machine settings. And then you're going to put in your monitor unit. You expect 100% delivery, your dose rate. We default alert and error levels to 3 and 5%. These can be changed individually or for all of them or none of them as you so desire. And once this is all completed, because all fields are required, then the start button becomes activated and it will deliver and provide you the chamber profile and the measurement metrics. You can choose to save it or cancel out of it. I'm going to cancel out of this. Once you have a baseline created, more buttons become activated. You have a copy baseline to make it faster and easier, where all you've got to do is change the name and one other metric, say your energy type, or you've done all your 20 by 20s and then you want to switch to the metric you change is 10 by 10 and go through your energies again. There is also a re-baseline button. So after your annual QA or field service on your major field service on your machine, you're going to want to create new baselines. So you just click on a baseline to highlight it and quickly run that test again, or re-baseline. And there's also a delete baseline situation available, which will remove something that maybe you did the inputs wrong, incorrectly, and you inadvertently saved it. You can't edit those, so we offer you a delete baseline. It will remove any measurements that were taken against it, but note that this is not a permanent delete. It's just removed from the user's view, so it's a contact standard imaging to see, to get that data, to restore that data if you needed to. Analysis is really where all the magic happens, right? So again, we're going to want to pick our device. I'm going to go over here, show you dark mode. We're going to go over to analysis page, like I said, pick our device. And again, navigation throughout the software, since it's a web page, is buttons or clicking on an item. So I've selected a baseline, the list of measurements appear, the trending graphs appear, and if I want to see the chamber information about this particular measurement, then I can do that, scrolling through and seeing the different ones. So a lot of information, and again, you have some selectable date ranges, past 30 days is default. And from this page, you can also choose to generate a CSV or PDF report of the date range and the view that you have on screen. So that's really what I wanted to show you there. And again, standalone mode is by far the most common way people use our device because it is by far the fastest way to do it. That doesn't mean that's the only way that you can take measurements with our device. Real time, again, the differentiator here is that we have automatic energy detection. So instead of entering your baseline information or selecting a baseline to measure against, it's telling you here it's looking for a detected baseline. So I don't have any devices online, so I obviously can't do a measurement. But in real-time mode, it's a start button again, not surprising. And then you click start. It's going to take the measurement, going to display the metrics here in this big spot, and your temperature, pressure, and your measured metrics. In this real-time mode, you would save or discard as you choose to do. Anything saved goes to the database. Anything that's discarded is obviously gone. Another thing that is unique to standard imaging is our physics mode. So we don't just give you the standard mode, we give you put the device on the couch, align it, and get to measuring. We also offer a physics mode. And what this is for like troubleshooting, or you want to do some research. With physicists, they're always up to something. So this device might come in handy for some of the research you're trying to do. This is physics mode is actually one that is more manual. So you have to tell it to start when the beam's on, but because you have to enter the parameters of what your test is going to be. Because physics mode information is not saved to the database. It is not compared to any baseline metric. It is, I want to take a very specific measurement. I fill in my parameters. I start my beam. When my beam's done, I shut it off. And then you're going to get your chamber array and your data. This data may be exported as a CSV file. Again, it doesn't touch your database. It's not saved to the database. You would export this as a CSV. Lastly, we'll go into the settings a little bit more over here. So you have your organization at its top level. It'll show you who's a physics administrator, the highest level type of user in the system. For your clinics, it's going to show you the same thing. We require very little input. For your clinic, we need the clinic name and we need your time zone, because your every measurement is date and time stamped, and you want it to be to your local clock. Machine situation, again, here we have a plus sign, which would allow us to add a machine, or if we did commission a machine, the archive box would allow you to do that. Clicking on a particular machine, again, the information that you have to put in. These highlight come up in red because you can delete an energy if for some reason you stopped using a particular energy. You have your wedge information. Again, the energies that are listed in the wedge information feed to that baseline parameter or your parameters for physics mode, so that you don't have to necessarily do all of those things. Your users, this is a lot of information on this screen, but it's actually very easy. Again, you're going to click on different people to see what they're assigned to. Their display name is what will be on reports or displayed on screen. Username is how you log in. And again, we have Active Directory available. Pop to this one because we can see it there. Active Directory. And this is not accessing the whole thing. It's just, I want to see the list of names of people who may be using this device. So we create a path to see that list and go no further. But then they can use the Active Directory to do a user setup. Clicking on a specific person, you see where they are assigned. Clinic assignments are important. And how are they assigned? They may be assigned not as an unauthorized physicist one place, but maybe they're the physicist administrator for this particular location. And their security group shows you what they're allowed to do at different places. As you can see, it's changed here in the region. I'm an authorized physicist versus at this particular location, I'm a physicist administrator. That is a lot of information, but it's very neatly contained, and there's very little that you actually have to do to set anything up. All right, why am I gotta look at the right thing. Okay, go back over here. Your devices, again, like I said, we support, we have a unified database. So if you're a site with 3 Linux and therefore 3 BeamChecker Pros, all of your BeamChecker Pros will be activated through this device setting. And if a unit is available, it will show as online and available for use. If it's in use, say in Vault 1, device 1 is in use, somebody else comes in to do the QA on Vault 2, and they're looking at the device, they'll see that the device used in Vault 1 is locked. You cannot do anything with it because it's in use. So that is really everything I had to show about that. So we'll go back over to my PowerPoint. Won't we now? All right, so course, this is a brand new device, so people want to know where we have regulatory clearance. United States, Canada, European Union, Australia, and Japan. The next clearance expected will be in Brazil. And if you are from someplace that you don't see on this list, let us know as we proceed through those regulatory registrations case by case and what's most important based on where our customers are located. So to summarize for today, what makes this a new day for morning QA, something that's reliable and consistent? It is simple, fast, and made to last. It's a new detector array with a new touchscreen display, with new connectivity, new automation, and the new unified database, and the new browser-based software. So it's all new. It's all very convenient to set up and use. At this time, if you have any questions, I invite you to put them into the dialog box. Hopefully you have one or two, but if I don't, maybe that means I really covered everything you wanted to know. And while you give you a minute to do that, I just want to put a plug in for our support team. They are incredibly diligent and hardworking, and they're here for you 24/7. We answer your call. We have, chats, phone calls, emails, all of that, of course. And speaking of service, I didn't mention it before. Our QA BeamChecker Pro comes with the 2-year warranty for software and hardware maintenance. That can be extended. That is a question for your sales representative. So we're here to support you every step in the way with good, solid, robust service. Just want to go now and maybe ask my colleague Brian, who's on the call with me, have any questions come in?
No, we have not received any questions as yet, so I don't think we will have any today.
Okay. Well, I think that's all right. Again, if you do have any questions, because that always happens to me, I get off call and then I'm like, oh, I wish I had asked this. You can reach out to our sales team. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to customer care. Any of us will, so sales@standardimaging.com, AZENS@standardimaging.com to reach me, or support@standardimaging.com to reach our support team. And that is all I have for today. So all I can do is say thank you so much for joining and wish all of you a very, very good rest of your day. Bye-bye.